What does it mean? And I don't give a damn. Let me forget, cause tomorrow you're dead. Dogs of War, they're after you. The Exploited was no doubt the biggest hardcore punk band to come out of Scotland. Dogs of War, with a live version of Blown to Bits, which originally was featured in a studio version on the band's debut album, Punk's Not Dead, released in May of 1981. Well, the third single, Dogs of War and Blown to Bits, released on the Secret Records label 45 years ago this week, March 26, 1981. Well, Waddy Buckman, I'll tell you what it means. It means a real fun time on a Friday night, a nutritious fun time. It has begun once again. Normally, I wait until it's blazing hot, and I just don't mean the heat rising off an outdoor grill with steak taco meat frying on it. That's when I normally come to Punk Rock Tacos. But here it is, first day of spring, March 20th, 2026, and I'm here. First Punk Rock Tacos of the year is also the 75th one overall. Since Noah Corona started this shindig, it's become one of the biggest gatherings of local musicians and bands in the greater Chicagoland area. At best, even the big summer shows, Lollapalooza and Riot Fest. Both of those have definitely sold out. Way too much corporate greed and money grabbing involved. Ticket prices are just way too much for even one fucking day. But not here. $15 gets you in the door. And I'm here to talk with one of the three bands I featured in promoting PRT 75 last week on Local Loft 421, the Evictions. With a name like that, I imagine they've got themselves thrown out of a couple of different venues, but they're certainly not going to get thrown out here. And my friends Matt Stanton, Ben Brundage, and Ed Dubzinski of Real Bad Real Fast. We just heard from them 2 episodes ago, 420, from the Immigration Rights Benefit Show at Val's Hall in Oak Park. They're headlining here tonight. They also got the 200th, and I don't know if they've been together 200 years or there have been 200 different members in the lineup. Dogs of War certainly makes a topical song now, doesn't it? With all the Trump-induced fighting that's going on in Iran, jacking up gas prices back here at home, you want to call Trump a dog of war, be my guest. Oh, and I Heat People is also here tonight at PRT 75. I talked to them last week with No Rhythm Jim, their drummer. There's also, on a windy night, it's somewhat windy, but no wind gusts are going to blow any snow squalls around, as it's spring and, well, it's warmed up to 53 degrees. So here's to more punk PRT shenanigans to come, and Noah Corona always throws quite a delicious shindig. Whether or not there's tacos involved, well, there's going to be tacos involved with me because I haven't eaten dinner yet. If you're getting hungry for that brand new second Grave Rain full-length album, I have more good news where that's concerned. Pre-orders have already begun. I have a specific official release date for it. Be careful pogoing out here tonight at PRT. You don't want to be hanging from the ceiling or hanging off a cliff. They were pogoing and dancing on the edge this week 7 years ago at Wire in Berwyn. We'll reintroduce you to Cliffhanger as I chatted with them for the one and only time. Local Loft episode 422. It'll melt your face, it may melt in your mouth, and certainly it'll melt both eardrums when cranked loud enough. The sound of original Chicagoland metal, punk, alternative rock, and power pop through every episode of this podcast.
Hey, we're the Evictions.
It's a love song.
Alright, we're back on our feet, kids. This next song's called This Boy's Gonna See Me.
Well, they certainly blew the roof off of Punk Rock Tacos here at Cemitas Poblanas tonight, and they didn't get kicked out doing it. No eviction notice for the Evictions. I have singer and guitarist Johnny Wator here with me, and barnstorming performance tonight.
I appreciate that. Yeah, our first time here, so we definitely wanted to kind of live up to the reputation. I think this is the 75th show.
Yes.
From what I understand, so...
Yes, I've been to a lot of the outdoor shows. This one had all the atmosphere of those. There's quite a lot of those to come. Let's stick with you guys here. I got to ask you about Teenage on the TV. I played that on my last podcast, 421, last week. Was that inspired by a need to be a teenage idol or teenage rock star and get yourself all over the tube? What inspired you to write that one?
That was basically a reaction to all of the people obsessed with becoming internet celebrities or the need to become famous without really putting any proof of talent into it at all. Somehow you can just get a bunch of followers and think that you're really special and talented, and that's kind of usually the opposite. And you know, a lot of our songs are just kind of reactionary to what's around us at the time, or you know, whether it's social or political or otherwise. But that was definitely you know, I kind of think I summed it up pretty well. Sorry,
Yeah, you did.
I just walked on stage, so I'm kind of.
Let's get this party over before it's too late. I'd hate to leave us all up to the hands of fate. All simple pleasures get swept aside. Ain't no appreciation, no going eyes on me. Not born to stand in line, sleepwalk my way to work. They never play that card, but we will, we will. We will, we will. Best luck on filling me up with the same luxury. Left to your own devices, lack of restraint. Steer clear that suffocation known as routine. Ignore all those temptations that are hanging up on me. Not born to stand in line, sleepwalk my way to work. They never go that hard, but we will, we will. Thrown off the status grind, kicked out the holy word. They never go that far, but we will, we will. We will, we not born to stand in line, sleepwalk my way to work. They never play that card, but we will. Thrown off the status grind, kicked out the holy word. They never go that far, but we will, we will. We will, we will. We will, we
You and Chris Polish, he had his spinal, I want to call it a Nigel Tufnell moment, because he was rolling around on the tiles, and I thought one of the stagehands was going to have to pick him up, you know, like Nigel who couldn't get up. It reminded me a lot of that. You have a lot of energy, a lot of fierce energy out there, and next Friday is going to be a pretty big one for you guys, opening for Handsome Dick Manitoba at Liars Club. The founder of the Dictators and the singer, and he was a Sirius XM radio DJ at one time too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we played with him last summer, maybe, when they came through and they played at Reggie's. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody I know at some point has been to his bar in, you know, New York when he had that still open. And yeah, legendary guy, legendary scene. So that should be a really good show. And mostly we're just, you know, we're trying to keep promoting a new album that came out at the end of last summer. So we're trying to pack in some shows as the weather's starting to get a little bit nicer, and hopefully we can come back here and play when they have an outside show, because I've heard that those are even better. So we'll keep in touch for sure.
Your drummer nowadays is Izzy Price, and he was with an awfully good trio not too long ago. Awful.
Unintended.
Lucy Decay, who is here tonight, Tracy Trouble's not, but I was at their last show at Blue Island Brewing Company just about 2 years ago. How did you come to get him to be drummer? Because he wasn't your original drummer, was he?
Right. So, I mean, you mentioned Spinal Tap. We've definitely had that thing with drummers.
Your last one didn't spontaneously combust, did he?
Close, but no. And you know what? It's always been amicable. It's just mostly people moving, or just life things where it just didn't work out anymore. It's never been a personnel problem. But Izzy joined the band, and it was just really a matter of like perfect timing. Awful split up, and we had needed a drummer at the same time. And I talked to another member of Lucy's band from Reactions, who's like, I think Izzy's bandless right now, which is pretty rare for a drummer. And I called him, and it's probably the easiest transition, and he fit so well that the first practice kind of felt like we had already been practicing for a month or so. So it's always good when you got to make a transition like that to be able to just hit the ground running easily, and it's been great. The whole thing. I think this is the tightest the band has been. I think he syncs up the best with Chris on bass. They just have a kind of equally busy, kind of flourishy style to what they do. And that takes care of a lot of the heavy lifting for me.
Yeah.
So, it's just everything's synced up really well right now. We're trying to finish this album that we recorded a while back. I'm just finishing all the vocals and stuff so we can have that out this fall.
Well, great job here tonight, Johnny. Like I said, it was a roof blower. It was a foundation shaker. Check out the Evictions next Friday night at Liars Club, opening for Handsome Dick Manitoba.
Yep.
And you can go to their Facebook page, The Evictions, for more about it than Johnny Wator.
And we just released 3 new songs that are kind of a teaser off of the new album.
Yeah.
So those are on all streaming platforms. You can check those out right now.
Yeah, the 107 sessions. I saw that. Johnny, thanks again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm Tracy Trouble, this is Lucy Decay, and Izzy Price, and we are awful. Thank you guys so much. Being a band, is kind of hard. sometimes. Things don't always work out the way you want to. If they're not working out, you gotta move on and do other things. So, this is our last show. Thank you for being here. Come buy our records. We barely have any records in Kansas. And this is our last song. It's called More. Voted our record last year best fucking punk record of the year.
Too bad there isn't an awfully good chance that we could turn back the hands of time to May 2024 all over again, as if it never happened. Awful's last show, I was there. I captured it all. Blue Island Brewing Company, Blue Island Beer Company. But Tracy Trouble, Lucy Decay, and Izzy Price have all gone their separate ways, and Izzy made out quite well after Awful's departure. He's now drummer for the Evictions. My thanks to Johnny Wator, lead singer and guitarist of the Evictions, for talking to me after their blistering, roof-blowing, and foundation-leveling gig over here at Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park. They didn't get thrown out, though. No eviction notice was served. And one won't be served next Friday, either. The foundations of Liars Club will resemble a major seismic earthquake. Let me just tell you that right now. The Evictions opening for Handsome Dick Manitoba, longtime lead singer and founder of the Dictators. Does he still go girl crazy? Does he still live for cars and girls? He also still lives for wrestling. He dressed like a wrestler on the Go Girl Crazy album back in 1975. And he did it for almost 30 more years, till 2019. Oh, and speaking of Tracy Trouble, I want to apologize to her for screwing up a couple of things during Local Law 421 about the date of the actual release show for Tracy's other band, Clawto. I played you Chicago Punk Rock Warrior, their brand new one, last week, Clawto, where Tracy is now bassist. And I told you it was on Friday the 26th over at the Empty Bottle. Actually, it's Thursday the 26th. Yeah, I'll be getting to a little more from Clawto later, but Tracy did want to make that correction. It's Thursday the 26th. So actually, it's less than a week away. The release show for Clawto's debut album. Punk rock tacos will soon become metal tacos. Now that I got your attention, it's certainly only temporary here. Noah Corona owns the copyright for the name Punk Rock Taco. It's he who put it together. So if he wants to transform it into metal tacos for one night, well, who do you think he'll get? Now that I've got your attention, the band who's not named after a disorder, not initially speaking, ADD. My friends Margaret Young, Dave Adams, Jeremy Sparta, Friday, April 17th, here at Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park. It's ADD for the very first time. Hope they come hungry to play new music for you, and hope you're hungry to take it all in. We'll let your ears digest it in. It has been a while. ADD was on the comeback trail about 5 years ago when I last spoke to guitarist Dave Adams. And he told me that greater things were in store, that yes, they took a breather. COVID kind of played a part in it, sidelining them for a while, but right before the pandemic ended, ADD was still rocking strong. And this time around, they picked Punk Rock Taco. Oh, Metal Tacos, I'm sorry about that. Now, you need Noah Corona to confirm the name change for just one night. But after that, ADD motors down to Fat Daddy's in Seneca, down in LaSalle County, and they're opening for Tantric on a national tour. Big things in store for Analog Digital Disorder. I'm going to play you something from them to get you ready for it after we check out the act who is sharing the stage with ADD. And by the way, this is a Rebel Radio sponsored show on April 17th. It's Wolfram. This 4-piece progressive metal band out of Chicago's North Side. Well, they sound more like alternative rock, especially some of the biggest names in grunge back in the mid-90s. Stone Temple Pilots, I hear quite a resemblance here for the 4-piece. Sin City is their debut album, and no, it's not a cover of AC/DC from the Bon Scott years. Because if you're a big fan, you'll probably know that was one on the 1978 legendary album Power Ridge, which also gave us Going Shootin'. And thank Beavis and Butthead for resurrecting that in their first movie, Beavis and Butthead Do America. It's part of the soundtrack, 18 years after initially being released on Power Ridge. But no cover of AC/DC, and there's a track called Peace of Mind. That's not a Boston cover. You're going to be hearing plenty about Boston's self-titled debut album. It's the big 5-0 this year, later on in August. Peace of Mind is not a cover. Sin City's not a cover. Wolfram, along with Disorder, ADD, Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park on April 17th, local Loft.
Pantyhose, cigarettes, runny nose, camel toe, credit cards on the desk, red carpets and lights. Fancy cars, smooth cigars. Who's holding your dice? If fantasy is what you seek, come over tonight. The cold's waiting road, close your eyes. Don't think twice. There's nothing that you can't see when you're paying for company. Sin City's alright. Sin City tonight. Everybody in the feature, say alright. Alright. Everybody in the hotel, say alright. Alright, yeah, yeah. Life's what I've done.
How the fuck are you doing it, folks? I really like to see.
If I may have your complete attention, they first caught your attention on the Cat 1055. If you listen to it, April of 2011. That's when I invited you to a new album eventually. You are working in the studio. I have seen some footage on YouTube, Facebook, etc. So what's the new ADD going to sound like compared to maybe Core?
I mean, I think it's, we have a couple other songs that we're almost finished with, and like always with ADD, we do a lot of different spectrums, so the next song that we've almost completed is Solar Savings, much heavier sounding kind of song, but it still sounds like us, of course.
My lips seal the awful taste, forcing me to leave.
It was almost a year ago that Analog Digital Disorder assigned Blame to all streaming platforms. Their new single, Blame, that is. Nobody was accused of anything. It will be exactly a year in the middle of April. And they're going to mark the occasion by assigning, I'm sure they've checked with Noah Corona on this, a different title for his longtime local music gathering. It won't be punk rock tacos, but metal tacos. I saw the posts on it. Cemitas Poblanas in Villa Park, Friday night, April 17th. And then 2 days later, ADD joins Tantric at Fat Daddy's in Seneca. The Cemitas Poblanas show has Rebel Radio's backing and also features Wolf Ram. We heard from them. Sin City, which, as I told you, is not an AC/DC cover. Now, they sound much more progressive. To find out more, go to addarmy.net. And by the way, I should mention that I was well aware of this when I interviewed them at the Forge in Joliet last year. New guitarist George. He's been there for a while. And also Ron Bailey, who was an original member of the band. He played on their first album, Elements of Emptiness. 'Twas not too long ago that ADD used to co-headline shows with Veilside. Tony Engel, former lead singer of Veilside, has moved on to Grave Rain and Blockchain Coalition. While Veilside was still up and rocking right before Bob Cobble Hilton passed away, David Schenkel was a fill-in guitarist. But now, the Demon and Tony joining forces, and they will once again. Grave Rain's second full-length album, Icon of the Accursed, will officially be released May 15th. This is on their Facebook page and also on graverainband.com. You can pre-order it for $15. You get the album itself, plus the album's surrealistic sci-fi fantasy artwork on a t-shirt. The only thing I want to know is, when is the tour? That's probably still in the planning stages. And I will get the word from both Tony and David once it happens. No advanced singles from the album yet. I have another one to play from their first, Destination Aftermath, the one that introduced them to the world. And there was nowhere to hide. Grave Rain was all around, and they will be again. Try and seek sanctuary if you must. You will not get away. They will rock the foundation where you live. Crank this one up and see if your foundation can handle it. Sanctuary. It's Grave Rain on Local Law.
Fight or flee into the with the Continental. I tried to give it up, but I was feeling sentimental. We drank out Delilah's, the coke with the bottle. We went to go to Liars, but we mostly to Pothole. Switching tags of goodwill to some little red pill, staying in on Friday night, Netflix and chill. Become a homosexual, tickets for the metro, buying stuff on Facebook, I'm looking for some retro. Non-hetero, I'm a Chicago punk rock warrior. 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 Getting something new though, I always get it to go back to the crib and I listen to some crudo. Afternoon, I'm hanging with the goons, drinking a case of PBR, listen to some tunes. Saw a bunch of bands at the riots in the park. We had to take an Uber because there was nowhere to park after dark. The bouncer said our liquor had to go into the bin, and Dougie had a ticket but they wouldn't let him in, oh no. Cause he's a nosy boy, he's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior. He's a Chicago punk rock warrior.
If Clawtoe had been around in the mid-70s, okay, let's be specific about that. If Clawtoe had been around any time before March 15th, 1976, WCFL, Super CFL, the Big Ten, could have actually given them airplay. Top 40 radio in the 70s was such a mixed bag, such a potpourri. You could have hard rockers next to disco. And why do I bring up Clawtoe and CFL? Well, Marina City, where the legendary WCFL on-air studios were located, is featured prominently amongst the many Chicago landmarks in the new video for Chicago Punk Rock Warrior. It's the brand new single from Clawtoe, first to feature bassist Tracy Trouble, formerly of Awful. I did touch upon them not too long ago in this episode. Izzy Price, their former drummer, is now drummer for the Evictions. That's just got so many different landmarks. There's a shot at Reggie's, Liars Club. I think there's even a shot at the famous Billy Goat Cheeseburger cheeseburger. You know, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. John Belushi drilled it into your head back in 1975. Rest in peace. It recently was the 44th anniversary of his passing on March 5th. Officially, Chicago Punk Rock Warrior will be released as a single this coming Thursday, March 26th. Laquato's release show at Empty Bottle. I made a mistake on that and Tracy Trouble brought it to my attention during 421, but I want to make that clear that the official date is Thursday, March 26th. Go to Clawto's Facebook page for more details about it. April 17th is turning out to be a busy night. Well, busy for those of you who are big fans of power pop and you're also big fans of ADD. You'll have to divert your attention without any deficit disorder to both events if you can. Plan your drive accordingly. 2 nights after it begins on April 17th, International Pop Overthrow welcomes back for the first time since they first got together in the early 90s, We the Cats. This 4-piece garage rock band out of Chicago's West Side punk it up sometimes. Actually, recalling that mid to late 70s period where punk rockers would often jangle it up. Plenty of jangly guitars and a more slick, sophisticated sound. Buzzcocks, we're looking at you. Because this one definitely sounds like the early Buzzcocks days when Howard Devoto was frontman of the band. That was for a very short time. It's got that very rough, ragged, spiral scratch feel to it. Okay, and I would say even songs like Promises and Lipstick come into play here. Kennedy is from the soon-to-be reunited We the Cats. April 19th, the second of 7 nights at International Pop Overthrow at Montrose Saloon. Go to internationalpopoverthrow.com for more details about it. Kennedy from We the Cats on Mobile Loft.
Used to wake up in the early morning, love the kind where to wait. Put on an ugly tie, drive to work every day. Till I met a man in the gentleman's club with a pretty blue gown and some high heels on. He said, let me take you away from this to a life of caviar, champagne and shrimp. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy. And you like that. I decided to give it a try and throw caution to the wind. I got into his limousine and committed a couple of sins. We drove off to the Cape for a wild breakdown weekend escape. We got kinky and feigned a rape, and the whole thing landed on videotape. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy, and you like that. Return home with a view of the sea. I got no responsibility except to avoid the paparazzi. Now my days are lazy and fun. Nothing to do but lay in the sun, yeah. My little plan turned out okay, and now I can sleep all day. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy. Now I'm a Kennedy, and you like that.
And they are just a power bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tractor Boy.
Your uncle was right! Right!
This is Tractor Boy with Neil Bono and the Pastors and Six. Here's the talking about you in the bar. Mike is still one gun. No. It might be
This was like 2015, 2016, and they really believed all these conspiracy theories, and they got super into them, you know, like the QAnon stuff, and I didn't know what they were talking about, so I wound up looking into it, And I was like, man, this stuff's crazy. So I had the idea I wanted to write a song about conspiracies, because at the end of the day, people go down these rabbit holes and then they never get seen or heard from again. You have families that get busted up over it and stuff. And yeah, it was just my attempt to kind of shed light on it, because it is a thing.
It's a mighty long way from Rantoul to McCook, but Tractor Boy is going to motor on down. In a not-so-intimate setting, a not-so-sexual opening, and the climax won't be so provocative, but will be foundation-leveling and very intense. Saturday night, March 28th, The Max at Stadium Club in McCook, 47th Street just off of Joliet Road. Tractor Boy's Midwest Loud record release show with Bad Breaks and MILF. You can go to tractorboy.com or their Facebook page for more about it. You want your music to be built on a sound, rockin' foundation. Whether or not it levels foundations, well, that's up to you, just how intense and how loud it gets. But you certainly want a solid rockin' foundation to be heard worldwide. Get me Tim Lamping, your music here at Local Loft, MP3 wave or FLAC, or send me a CD, vinyl, LP, cassette, reel-to-reel tape, timlamp1 at yahoo.com, timcatdj@gmail.com. Send me an email, I'll send you a mailing address before you send me any physical things. Download every episode of Local Loft on podbean.com. Stream it on YouTube or the Podbean app. Long before the foundations were closed shut and were not tested anymore, because that nasty COVID virus hung in the air and financially, if not physically, crippled them. The foundations and rafters were tested at Wire and Berwyn. Those who pogoed their way on through the night to Cliffhanger weren't hanging by any rafters, but they came close. 7 years ago this week, March 23rd, 2019. It's Tim, and I'll see all of you out at the Stadium Club at the Max in McCook Saturday night for Tractor Boy's Midwest Loud record release show for Local Loft episode 423.
Like I said, over here, right from here, Burrow, kind of. This next song's called Music Off Control.
We're ready to let this go!
Alright, so we are about to wrap up a new EP tomorrow. And the next two songs are going to be on them. They're brand new. Brand new. I'm sure for all of you, these are all brand new songs for you, so shut the fuck up, okay? Alright, so the first song's called The Open.
Cause you'll wake up with me!
In the immortal words of Jim Morrison, can you feel it? Now that spring has come, you're going to be feeling quite a lot of opportunity. Opportunity will be calling you if you're a local music fan like me. So many chances, and the weather is not going to hold you back as far as getting out, checking out anything in the genres of any genre. To expose yourself to a whole new world of music that dares to be discovered, without a doubt. Whether it's thrash metal, whether it's pop punk, whether it's alternative metal, or basic hard rock, basic hard bar rock. The opportunity is there, so seize the moment or moments leading up to summer. And we've got plenty of them on episode 98 of Local Loft. I'm here at Wire and Berwyn tonight, rediscovering the pop punk genre. A little bit more aggressive, a little bit more punk than pop, I would say, in the case of Cliffhanger, whose members hail mostly from the western suburban territories of Berwyn, Riverside, even Downers Grove. This band is here tonight, getting ready to follow up their 2017 EP, their third overall since the band started in 2013. As far as inspiration goes, would you believe Robert De Niro? One of their songs is actually named I Have Nipples, Greg, Can You Milk Me? Name that Robert De Niro film, and the answer is not Goodfellas, Casino, Taxi Driver, The Godfather, or Raging Bull. It's something parental, something which involved Barbra Streisand. Well, I'm not here to talk about movies, but Cliffhanger most definitely is aggressive and won't leave you hanging as far as the opportunity to pogo and rock all night with them. If you ever get the chance to check them out in one of their concerts, I had that opportunity tonight here at Wire and Berwyn in the middle of March. We'll get to that, plus a brand new opportunity to rediscover classic thrash metal. And they sure start young in this case, and it's quite unusual, but it works. A band called Misfire. Maybe you heard of Tommy Derringer before. He was with the band End of Anarchy when he was only in his mid to late teens. But indeed, he sounds much, much older. It harkens back to the classic thrash metal period of the early 80s, maybe early to mid 80s here. That and Oblivion Zero gets their chance to the spotlight down in Braidwood and presenting a brand new CD for a release show. This and more on Local Loft episode 98. Here tonight at Wire in Berwyn. In front of me is a band whose members hail from my neck of the woods. Irwin, a couple are from Riverside and Downers Grove, Cliffhanger. This is hard-hitting music, I would say, in two fronts. It's hard-hitting in that you'll be pogoing so much, you want to watch so you don't hard-hit your head on a rafter. Pogoing aggressively to this stuff because it's very high energy. Also hard-hitting is the lyrics. One song that really stood out was Barbed Wire Bat, especially because of the lyrics in the chorus. I used to be one that you admired, then you hit me with a bat wrapped in barbed wire. They're already working on a follow-up to Old Wounds, which contain that particular track. How do you think the music and the lyrics are going to differ on this brand new one as compared to Old Wounds, which is already almost 2 years old? You put it out in the fall of 2017.
Yeah, that's correct. Really, once we finished Old Ruins, we really started diving into this upcoming release, and we've been kind of perfecting that ever since. It still hits the same of a lot of the same tunes that were on Old Ruins, but we just kind of take that to the next level. And we also kind of experiment more instrumentally, trying to broaden our sound and trying to make it more dynamic. We really...
Yeah, Dan actually writes most of the lyrics, and where do you get your...
Not most of the lyrics.
Who writes most of them, then?
I would say Mike is the lyric, I'm the music guy.
All right. Yeah, I thought you guys did pretty much...
Yeah. So, like,
I mean, two of the songs I did, and to kind of answer your question, they're not... The two I wrote, specifically, are not about past relationships. One's about... I had stopped playing music for a long time when I was in college, and I had missed kind of that excitement and hobby that I had, and not a lot of people that knew about that about me, so I kind of wrote a song to dive into the idea of like, hey, this is another side of me you don't know, and I want to show that to you. And then another song that I wrote is about my late mother, who passed away when I was very young. I kind of had to grow up faster than most kids that age, and not many people will really relate to that, but it's important to me, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that, and I know a lot of people suffer with loss in their life, so just kind of, you know, it's not like a total Debbie Downer song, but it's just kind of like, hey, this exists, it's okay. I'm not throwing a pity party for myself, but it's just something that's, you know, affected my life a lot, but I'm better for it, and here I am now.
What do you think the standout quality of your music is? Is it your lyrics, guitar, drums? What really stands out to audiences who are digging your stuff and maybe being introduced to your stuff for the first time?
I would say we are five guys that come from similar but different musical backgrounds and different bands, and we're, I don't know, kind of like an all-star team, I guess. But we have a lot of energy. We all, like I said, come with different musical backgrounds. We bring different aspects to our music, but still stick in that realm of pop punk. And we all bring different things to the table. Like Dan said, you know, he writes a lot of the music and stuff. Mike's the Traco, he writes a lot of lyrics. You know, Reed's a phenomenal bassist. He's just recently added to the band. Mike's, you know, our beat of our band, you know, on the drums, and I try to figure it out together. Yeah, I try to figure it out on stage singing. So
yeah, I think that our guitar parts are a big thing that Dan writes a lot of lead licks that are very memorable.
So sick of all this small talk. Step back and would regret. But now, keep the truth behind your illusion. If I don't fight back, you'll still be losing me. Never thought you were a good liar. I guess I'm just naive. Somewhere down the line, stab me in the back and twist the knife. I only wanted to be someone that you admire. And then you beat my heart. The fact that you wrapped in barbed wire. And this is over too. This feeling will expire. 'Cause you beat my heart. The fact wrapped in barbed wire. I never thought you're wrong. I'm here at 17. What you took from me, I promise you, I'll never change. I beg of you, just let me be. I wanted to be someone that you admire, and then you beat my heart. The fact that you wrapped in barbed wire. I only wanted to be someone that you admire, and then you beat my heart. The fact that you wrapped in barbed wire. And this is overdue. This feeling will expire. 'Cause you beat my heart. 'Cause you beat my heart. The fact wrapped in barbed wire.
Well, what kind of audience do you feel this music best reaches? Is there a demographic, older folks, younger folks, maybe a combination of the two?
I mean, honestly, anyone who's a fan of pop punk, if they give it a listen and they like it, even if they don't even have to be a fan of pop punk, if they just like high energetic music, and we're really focused on reaching that audience, and we want to make sure that people won't have a good time.
Yeah, no, I don't think we discriminate against any age, any gender, nothing like that when it comes to marketing towards people. I think that we do tend to have a lot of people around our age that like our music, like from like the 20 to 30-year-old range. Some a little bit younger. We do play a lot of all ages shows and get some younger kids out. And then we have some older people. I mean, all of our parents, family really enjoy the music, and they come out and support, and it's not too heavy, too aggressive for them. So that's a pretty cool thing. And when it comes to boys and girls, I mean, I see everybody out there, and everybody seems to be singing along and rocking out. So, I mean, it kind of is a very open-ended answer to the question, but there's a lot of different people that are into the sound.
Yeah, if you like dynamic guitar and drums, I think you might appeal to that for sure. Yeah.
You remind me a little bit of Rise Against. I don't know if they're an inspiration on you.
I would say so, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely more my era of pop punk.
Yeah, right there.
And you've already had the experience of playing in front of big audiences. I saw that you played a Vans Warped Tour in Milwaukee not too long ago.
Yeah, it was an absolute dream come true. We were able to, play with many great bands and really meet a lot of great people doing
it was a great opportunity. It was a bunch of fun.
Hopefully you'll get that opportunity again. I mean, this is excellent stuff, very energetic and aggressive. Really gets blood pumping, fist pumping, and like I said before, Pogo City here. Definitely great stuff, guys, and good luck on your new EP. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Seems to come along very nicely. It's Mike Centraco, Mike LeCarry, Matt Mindel, Lou Pontillo, and Dan Rickard, otherwise known as Cliffhanger. You get their 3 EPs dating back to 2013. Download them digitally on Cliffhanger Pop Punk at Bandcamp.com. YouTube, video, audio, lyrical clips of everything. Thanks a lot, guys, for talking to us tonight.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Cliffhanger at .bigcartel.com.